Thank you. Thank you. Hey, good morning, CSL. Good morning. Nice to see you all. My name's Jake. I'm the music director. My pronouns are he and him. And ready to hop over to percussion right there is Yuri, and we're holding down the fort today. And I'm really excited to welcome our amazing guest artist to the stage. And they're going to lead us in the opening sing-along. Please give it up, as always, the amazing, the wonderful Stephanie Ann Johnson.
You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world.
Today is a day of blessing. And so I recognize and know that this day, this moment, this very moment now, is a moment of transformation, of revelation, of reconciliation. I know that today is a day where love is the answer and the solution. And I recognize and know that each and every one of us are implanted with that seed of love. And so as we step into the truth of our beingness, that each and every one of us have an opportunity to see, to feel, and to be the love on this planet, right here and right now. And so I recognize and know this truth, and I claim and know that this service has been divinely guided and blessed by this love, that it is awakened in my heart, it is awakened in my brain, it is awakened in my body, that truly love is here, present in me.
I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world.
So recognizing and knowing this blessing that I am to the world, I don't take it for granted. I know that I am a blessing, and I know that my truth of love reverberates and creates ripples of love throughout this planet. And so I know and claim that for myself, but I also claim it for each and every person here, that we are reminded of who we are. We are awakened to who we are. We are inspired by who we are. And that love guides and directs our every action, our very beingness in all things, from this moment to the next moment, to the next moment, to the next moment. Because that's who we are. We are the place where love shows up. And for that, I'm grateful.
We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world, is a blessing to the world, is a blessing to the world.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Don. My pronouns are he and him. And before I get into my welcome, I want to take a moment to talk about yesterday and the event of yesterday from a bit of our Science of Mind Center for Spiritual Living perspective. And I want to share from a piece from Prayer for My Country that Dr. Ernest Holmes wrote, the person who helped created this teaching that we call Science of Mind and Spirit. And there are copies of this prayer back on various places around the building. We shared it really in around July 4th. And what I'd like to share out of it, a couple of sections. The all-knowing mind of God contains the answer to every problem which confronts this country. We know that every leader and all of us are leaders in this prayer. In this country is now directed to this all-knowing mind and has the knowledge of a complete solution to every problem, and each is compelled to act upon this knowledge to the end that abundance, security, and peace shall come to all. That's just a little part out of that prayer. But what it calls for me to understand about yesterday is that what I believe, what we teach about oneness, about this country, this world that we live in, that we are the hands, the heart, the voice of God, gives us the chance to speak, to show up, to be a presence for the highest good for all of us. And as we move through this day and this time, I'm called and reminded that how I feel, what I experience is a chance for me to choose what I want to see in the world and to show up in that presence. And so I invite us all this day and going forward to keep this prayer in our hearts, the prayer for our country, to allow what we believe about oneness, about the presence and power of love, about a universe, a country, a life that works for everyone is possible and can be brought through into reality through our ideas, through our teachings, through our presence in this world. So as we go through what's going to come from yesterday, remember to breathe and draw in the truth of what we share and what we teach here in this community, and so we support each other and the world. So thank you for being here, and thank you for considering this as we go through these coming weeks. Now I'm back to Reverend Don, your host, your welcomer. Yeah, thank you, Jake. Remind me of my exactly where I am. And so again, we're grateful for everyone being here this morning in the room, online. You know, there's like 2/3 more people out there than in here. And it's just so great that we're all sharing this time and coming together in community that includes the online, community of the online that includes the in-person, so that we create a consciousness that can change the world in which we live in, both now and going forward. And the beauty of this teaching from Ernest Holmes and all that he drew on is that it works every day. I am totally convinced of that because I've proven it in my own life since I found Science of Mind in 1989. Love talking about it. So if you want to know more, please don't hesitate to ask. Now, in community, we have connection. And our connection is what keeps us a community. So I invite you, if you haven't already, to please engage, to connect. Here in the room, we have cards you can use to do that. Grab one, fill it out, put it in the offering basket, give it to anybody with a name badge, or turning in at the registration desk. Because we just want to let you know what's happening and all the things that are coming up that you don't have time to write down when it shoots across the display. But there's some really good things happening. And participating in that is part of being in community and how we grow and share our ideas and hear how others think. We also have in this handout are these cards in the back and on the box online that you can click on, prayer support. You can fill out a prayer request card here and drop it in the back in the corner. There's a box you can put it in. And there are 60 practitioners in our community that just love to pray. And they pray for your good. If you got something you want to celebrate and want more of, put it on a prayer request. Tell Spirit, I like this. Bring more. You tell anybody else that, so why not tell God? And we also, if you have a challenge, we love to pray for you to know the highest and best out of that challenge. But that's community, and it kind of requires you to let us know. So please share. And you can do that online. You can do it we have a phone number you can call, but we are 24/7 all about prayer. This is also Bring a Friend Month, July. So anybody besides me ever invited someone to come to Center for Spiritual Living Seattle? Raise your hand. Look at that. Look at all the hands online that went up. They're everywhere. And I remember from Ram Dass, he says, we're all walking each other home. We invite people on the journey. Invite, it's a really good word. Invite people on the journey, and we do this walk supporting each other. As my coach says, if it's worth doing with support. And that's what community brings us. So I encourage you to invite, bring a friend, and just have them come hear what a Sunday here is like in the message. And then if you have questions on the second Sunday of the month, in between services, we're having a newcomer coffee, which is not just for newcomers, but for anybody. So you missed today's, but you come first service next month, and then you can stay for the newcomer coffee on the second Sunday. So just planting the seed, which is what communities do, and support, that you might want to keep that in mind as part of just becoming more engaged with the community and finding out more. And so that's me. Love you. I bless you. Thank you for being here. And let's get back to the beautiful music of Stephanie Ann.
The other day I took the time to start the day. How my life has changed. And even though I've had my share of bad times, somehow my joy won't fade away. My heart keeps singing. La-di-da, la-di-da.
Sometimes I wish I had those theme songs just in my every morning, like what if every morning I woke up to that song? And especially with Stephanie Ann singing it, and Jake playing it. Yesterday I went to the beach. So I was disconnected from the rest of the goings-on in the world. And as I was driving home from the beach, Janelle, our youth director here, called me and informed me of the assassination attempt. And I recognize that this is the place where we have hard conversations. And this is also the place where we claim and step into our best selves. So I can tell you, there may be an inclination for some people to have some joy or celebration around the harm of somebody. But I want to call you into a higher way of being, because any harm done to anybody is a harm done to everybody. And so truly, this is an opportunity for us to look at that idea that harming another does any good at all. Because truly, if I'm living my best self, and I'm standing in the place where I believe the divine created me to be, I can be fully expressed and harm no one. And so I seek to do that. And I am human, and I have my own flaws and challenges and tribulations, but I always want to bring myself to that center. And so I would encourage you to do the same. And what's in the center? Love. Truly, love is in the center. Peace. Peace is in the center. Connection's in the center. And whenever I'm standing from that place, there's no way I would harm another. There's no way I'd want to have anybody on this planet experience harm from either my own actions or even my own thoughts. And so someday, I'll get to the place where I can step into that and be clean with both my thoughts and my actions. But to me, it's a constant practice. And that's what spiritual practice is. It's like, can I step into that centeredness of peace, of love, and connection, and move from here out into the world? And so that's what I want to challenge you all to do, is recognize that anytime I am wishing harm on another, I'm wishing harm on myself, because we're all connected. And anytime I am acting in a place of not my highest good, I'm creating ripples of effect of that out into the world. And so who do I want to be? Who do I want to be in this moment? Who do I want to be in this country? Who do I want to be in this world? And from that place, when I ask myself that question, that guides me and informs me of my actions and my reactions to what's going on around me. I also recognize that everything that's happened is an effect of the consciousness of the history of everybody in the past. So this reality, what's showing up right now, is an effect. And that is a great opportunity, because we get to be at cause of a new effect for tomorrow. And so if what we're seeing is something that is not in alignment with maybe the truth of our beingness, then it gives us an opportunity to dream up a new possibility of what we would love to see and who we would love to be. So I wrote my talk called If Only I Had a Brain. If only I had a brain. That's what Scarecrow says in The Wizard of Oz. He's like, oh, if only I had a brain. And he starts off wishing he had a brain. going off on his adventures. And in the Wizard of Oz, he continues to have all these great ideas and these intelligent ways of being. And, he gets to the end looking for a brain, and it turns out he had the thing all along. He just didn't recognize it in himself. It wasn't the brain, it was the wisdom and the ideas and the creativity that he already had within him. But here, we all have brains within us, and I'm going to talk about neuroplasticity. All right, yeah. So here's the deal. We all have brains, and it's kind of like, I believe that the divine implanted with us infinite potentiality. So there's all kinds of things that as humans, we have not even tapped into yet. Now, science is proving to us the possibility of what we're capable of. And that happens through scientific studies that have revealed the information about our brain's neuroplasticity. So, neuroplasticity means that our brains can form neural connections, new neural connections and pathways in response to experiences, thoughts, and even emotions. So just imagine there's a network of roads in your brain. Those roads are like highways. But then, all of a sudden, you choose to do something new. You're like, I'm going to build a bridge from here to here, or I'm going to reroute the traffic, or maybe I'm going to build a new road of possibility. Well, that is completely how our brains work, and we can do that. We can completely remap, rewire, retrain our brain, and that's part of the human potential that's locked within us that the divine created that we can tap into. I love this hero's journey. And I talked about it a lot last week about how the hero's journey applies to us. But I want to invite you to really think about yourself on a hero's journey. You are the mythical hero or heroine of this lifetime. And each and every one of you has embedded a certain possibility and potentiality that the trials and tribulations that you move through actually bring it forth within you. And as you go through this lifetime, you have the opportunity to tap into it or not. But if you choose to do so, you choose to uncover or awaken within you even greater possibility that you get to love about yourself. Now, who here would love to have their highest potential revealed? Yes, all right, good. Well, me too. So here we are on this adventure. And I just watched this movie, Moana, the Disney movie, right? You could just see the whole hero's journey for her. So here she is. She's at home. She's from the Polynesian culture, and so that's a sailing culture. So she's a sailor. She's on the boats, and in the beginning, she learns that there's some damage to her coral reef, and she gets called from her ancestors to go on this adventure. And she goes on this adventure alone. But while she goes on this adventure, she's not really alone, but while she goes on this adventure, she encounters challenges. But through the challenges, she finds some demigods, Maui and Pu'ua, and they help her on her journey navigate through these trials and tribulations. And then by the end, she saves the whole, she finds a way to save the whole coral reef. And so each and every person along the journey is already there, but she doesn't know it. It's like we're navigating on this life experience, and we're embarking on this thing called life, and we have these obstacles and challenges that come in front of us that call us to our highest potential, our highest way of being, and we are also supported and loved and mentored by friends along the way. And oftentimes, we're also supporting and loving and upholding other people along the way of their hero's journey because we're doing this together. Because we all chose to incarnate at this time, at this place, for such a time as this. So yesterday, I was walking my talk by paddleboarding for the first time. So I had a friend who brought a paddleboard to the beach. I've never done it. I know many of you in here, that's like easy peasy, but I was born and raised in New Mexico. I just want you to know that. Desert. I did not have water around me. There was not a place for me to go, paddleboarding. So I embarked on this adventure of paddleboarding, and I sat down first, by the way, and I mastered the art of paddleboarding against the waves of Lake Washington, and in the 2-mile-an-hour winds, and and then I decided that I wanted to stand up. I know. So the paddleboard's like this. Now, I lived in California for 20 years. I know about surfing. I haven't surfed either, but I know what they do when they surf, right? They go like this, and so I'm trying to stand on the paddleboard, and what happens is I fall over immediately in the water. And then my friend, who sees me from afar, she's like, hey, come over here. And so I'm, wet and paddling back in, which is okay. It was really hot yesterday. And I paddle back in, and she said, you got to stand on it like this. Stand on it like that. So I did. I got back on the board. I stood on it like this. I was completely shaky. I was like back and forth, and then I'm trying to do the thing, and then I'm leaning over. And after a while, I built up enough confidence where I could stand up fully and do the paddleboard fully. I know, right? Yay! It was very exciting. So some of you're like, okay, whatever. But it was new neural pathways in my brain. And it was like a little mini adventure. I fell off, I was challenged by the wind, I was challenged by all these conditions, and then I was helped by my friend, my mentor, who mentored me into the correct way of doing it, and then I learned into this new thing, and soon I gained confidence, and I was able to do it. Yay! But we have these long adventures, these long journeys, and it is our own journey. It is our own journey, but we're also here collectively together. And so there's an opportunity to say, I am on this mythical journey. And there's multiple layers that are happening that I'm involved in. And my first layer involves me personally. But because we're all interconnected, everything I do for the greater good for myself, I also impact others. Every time I'm able to take a stand for the highest good is something that not only benefits me, but it benefits everyone around me. We have an opportunity to do that in our country. We have an opportunity to do that in our community, where we have a collective idea of possibility of what we could become. But we actually have to talk about it. We actually have to be willing to speak what we would love, because Moana didn't. There was an end goal. Or when you're going sailing, for those of you who have boats, you're going somewhere. You're navigating some place, and if we're not putting a destination in mind, we just kind of are up to the whims and the follies of where the currents are going. It's like we have to make a choice on what we would love to declare for our country, for our community, for our lives. And we get to participate in planting that seed of possibility and then trusting the adventure of the universe to support us along the journey. But if we never do that end idea, there's no place for us to aim for. And I know that we are ever evolving. I believe that God's source is ever evolving itself into the highest and greatest version of itself. And that includes me. So I'm evolving into the highest and greatest version of myself. And that means this country is evolving into the highest and greatest version of itself. And we are a part of that. And we get to see how that looks. And we get to choose to be in a country that has new choices, new opportunities, new ways of being. And maybe we could be a country that's led by love instead of by hatred or division or fear. And the beauty of this country is that we are a bunch of different people, and this is what I recognize, a bunch of different people together can create something even more magnificent than somebody who's exactly the same. So it's our differences that make this place in particular extra special, but it's also extra challenging. But that's okay, because if we have conversation and discourse in a way that I'm leading from love, where I'm opening my heart up to the possibility that this conversation, because we're so different, actually produces or creates something even better, then that paradigm of consciousness changes how we approach what we're doing in our country. That what we create together collectively is far more powerful than what we can create individually. And so I celebrate this community. I celebrate the fact that we're having those conversations, and they're not always easy. But that's okay, because everybody here is part of that hero's journey and is part of the collective consciousness of evolving into the highest vision and version of itself. And so maybe we're willing to have some of those hard conversations. You know, one thing I love is that our brain has an amazing ability to adapt. There's studies by Dr. Michael Merzenich, a neuroscientist at the University of California in San Francisco, that says the brain is not something that comes pre-wired and fixed. It's something that's shaped by experience. And Ernest Holmes reminds us that the divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God-ordained. Our limitations are often self-imposed, and we have the power to transcend them. So I want you to start transcending your own limitations. Very simple. I have an example because it happened to me. What's the first thing you do when you make a mistake? What's the first thing you tell yourself? I'm stupid. I screwed up. If only I had a brain. I'm ignorant. Right? So the thing that you tell yourself, the thing that you beat yourself up over, is a thing that is not serving you. And if you recognize when you make that mistake, that first comes into your head, that's when you know that's the thing you got to change. So this happened to me last week. I made a mistake, and then I was up all night long, replaying the mistake over and over in my head, going, oh my God, I can't believe that I did that. Oh, that was so stupid, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and then I'm going, what am I doing? I'm just re-embedding that neural pathway over and over and over in myself. Well, how do I change it? Well, I got to create a new paradigm. What's a new possibility? You know what? This mistake, because they say a sin is just a mistake that, like, it just misses the mark. An arrow, when you're in archery, an arrow not hitting the bullseye is a sin. So if I'm making a mistake, I'm just missing the mark. Well, if I'm just missing the mark, what does that mean? Well, it means there's a possibility for all of these other options to happen that I could learn and grow into. And so if I recognize that this is just a growth opportunity for me to step into the greater version of myself instead of beating myself up, then I'm creating a new neural pathway. So then I have to step into this new neural pathway and say, okay, I am a place where transformation and possibility happen. New neural possibility. I am a place where growth is happening. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. I recognize and see that this is part of my journey and is here to support me. Do you see all of those different paradigms? They're completely different from I'm an idiot and how stupid and all that stuff, right? So, but I gotta keep saying that. I gotta say, no, I'm not an idiot. No, yes, I do have a brain. Yes, I have intelligence and divine wisdom and all of that. This is just a growth opportunity. I'm so grateful for an opportunity to step into the greatness of my being. I'm so grateful for this opportunity for me to see things in a new way. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to step into a higher level of my beingness. I'm so grateful, right? Over and over and over and over again. Over and over and over and over and over and over again. Until the day I make a mistake, immediately I go into that because I've created a bridge. I've created a new neural pathway. I've created a new way of being. And then that's my new base set. That's my new way of being. And that's what's possible in all areas of our life if we want to harness it. It's called having a growth mindset. So people have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. If you have a growth mindset, it means that you can do anything if you put enough determination and you look at it as if you're mastering it. So you got to be determined and you have to say, I'm mastering this. For instance, how many of you play instruments? Quite a few. When you picked it up the first day, could you play it really well? No. Maybe Jake could. I don't know. Absolutely not. See? Even the brilliance that is Jake. Because we need to train ourselves, we have to master something. We got to do it over and over and over again. And so pretty much this teaching is about you doing something that serves you over and over and over again until it becomes your beingness, your natural state of being. That's what spiritual practice is. That's what spiritual practice does. It opens you up to the possibility that you are the fullness of yourself expressing. And then when things happen in life, challenges and difficulties, you go into that paradigm. You step into that person you've always seen and known yourself to be, but didn't actually take the actions. But you took little tiny mini actions along the way, and all of a sudden you become the thing that you knew yourself to be. But sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes there's something that happens in the news and your not higher self responds. But it gives you an opportunity to see that and say, who do I want to be and who do I want to become? You know, Joseph Murphy, who is a New Thought person, he said, the subconscious mind is fertile ground, and whatever you plant in that ground will grow there. So you get the opportunity to plant things in your mind. You get the opportunity to do things over and over. My default is prayer, and it's easy, and I love to pray, and I have fun praying, and it's great, but it wasn't always like that. That did not used to be my default. But the prayer shifts me in to feeling what I would love to experience. And once I feel what I would love to experience, I'm already there. I'm already the thing that I'm seeking. It's like the thing you're seeking is also seeking you. And we all have the opportunity to see that in our lives. But we have to do things. If you want to challenge your brain and the neural pathways, you want to start getting more used to creating newness, then you need to challenge yourself. I would encourage you to take classes here or somewhere else. Take a class about something, take yourself on. Or try a new language, try a new instrument, try something that opens your brain up to the new pathways. I have a friend in this community had a small, minor stroke-like thing, and they told me that after that experience, there was a lack of words, like being able to articulate particular words. But you know what they did? They started playing bananagrams. Do you know what bananagrams are? There's a lot of people in this community. Like CBEC has like this Bananagrams group, and they play every single night. But Bananagrams, it's basically like Scrabble, and you're playing your own Scrabble board, but you're sort of competing against other people and their Scrabble boards as well, and who can put all of these letters into words. But what happened is the person who was lacking the words started getting new words and getting the words back. So instead of deciding that they were limited by this event that happened, they used it as an opportunity to open their brain up to new possibilities, and they used games as a way to do it. I had an injury with my shoulder. I had to go to physical therapy. I had to keep doing these weird exercises over and over and over again until my shoulder remembered its natural state of being. Now, that was 2 years ago. I completely forget that I couldn't even move my shoulder very much. I completely forget because my natural state of being now is perfect movement. But I had to do something over and over and over again. And so that's us. That's us with our spiritual practice. That's us with our brains. That's us as we encounter these challenges that come to us on this hero's journey, for us to tap into something new and greater than ourselves, to unleash and unlock the potential of who we came here to be at this time. And I truly believe each and every one of us came here to be something special. Why are we called forth in movies like The Matrix? Why do we resonate with Lord of the Rings? Why do we resonate with Star Wars or Star Trek? Because there's something in those stories that's about somebody going on this adventure, embarking on challenges and difficulties, and coming home absolutely transformed. And there's something in our soul that resonates with that archetype. Because maybe it's who we are and why we came here. But we came out to live out this life as a great, majestic game board, as a place for our own adventure to unlock the secrets within ourselves, because it's already there and it's been there all along. So what are you going to do, and who are you going to be throughout this adventure? I would encourage you to embrace some new experiences, to recognize that you have to keep practicing. You have to keep doing something new and doing that new thing over and over again, because that's neuroplasticity in action. One last example. Clasp your hands like this. Clasp your hands. Okay, notice which thumb is on top. All right. Now, clasp them with the other thumb on top. Feel a little awkward? Yeah. Okay, now unclasp and clasp and switch thumbs on top and just keep doing it over and over. This thumb on top, that thumb on top. While you're doing this is literally training your brain to allow a new experience of possibility into your life, because you are doing this thing over and over again until the other way becomes just as normal or natural to you as the original direction. And so as you do that, we're doing this for 30 seconds, right? Okay, not that long. Okay, now try again to clasp with the other thumb on top. Now, is there a visceral, slight change in how that feels? Yeah, look how quickly that happened. It's as simple as that. You just built up a brand new neural pathway in your brain that the opposite hand, that your normal hand that you would use, is now doing something different. So things like that are things that can show you how positive reinforcement can really make a difference in your life. I went to Mount Rainier last week. I was driving in the car with Sherry. Sherry, is she here today? I think she is. I saw her before service. But she was telling me every time she gets in her car, she does a little affirmation of gratitude about how wonderful her car is and all of the amazing adventures her car takes her on, and how lovely it is that her car is safe and so protective, and it gives her that recognition that she is free, that there is a sense of freedom in her life. Now, how many of you, every time you go sit in your car or go to your house or talk to your spouse or talk to your pet, recognize that that is a space, a possibility for transformation? Maybe you don't have the thing that you want, so maybe it's you imagining every time you walk through the doorway about the amazing, brilliant house that is your perfect sanctuary that you have. Maybe it's every time you sit in your car and you're feeling a lack of freedom in some area, you know that freedom is available for you in all areas. But it's putting little habits every day into your awareness so that you can pull out who you were meant to be. So, to conclude, I want to say that we have the power to rewire our brains and transform our lives. Deepak Chopra says, every time you're tempted to react in the same old way, ask if you want to be a prisoner of the past or a pioneer of the future. I have decided that we are collectively pioneers of a new future. That individually we are here to embody what that looks like, and we are here to collectively partake in creating a new possibility. And I'm so grateful that I get to do it with you. So as you contemplate this, remember that all the allies are here, that on your journey, you're here, and that your brain and your heart are filled with unlimited possibility and potentiality. And today is the day that we unlock it and open it up. And from this moment on, we get to go on a grand adventure together. Let's pray. Knowing that each and every one of us have answered the call to our inner self that says, I am here to be an expression of this love. I am here to be an expression of this peace. I am here to be an expression of connection. And knowing that it looks differently for each and every one of us individually, it also creates a tapestry of connection that is beyond what we could create on the individual level. And so I celebrate that tapestry. I celebrate that connection. I celebrate the fact that today we have rewired and refired ourselves into a new way of being that allows us to create a new paradigm of possibility. And whether it's local or global, or maybe it's just personal, that whatever that possibility is, that there is the recognition that it has awakened within each and every one of us, and that something today, the universe creates a reflection for us to see and feel and know that in a deep and powerful way. And so I'm grateful to know that the universe is in a conspiracy for my good, for our good, for our planet's good, and I am participating in this conspiracy of good. I know that it has called me to be love. And in that love, I just settle into that. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And I allow it to lead the way. And so it is. Thank you.
Finding myself at a loss for words. And the funny thing is, it's okay. The last thing I need is to be heard, but to hear you would say. So word of God speak, pour down like rain, washing my eyes to see finding myself in the midst of you, beyond the music, beyond the noise, and all that I need is to be with you. And in the quiet I hear your voice, the word of God speak, pour down like rain, washing my eyes to see your majesty, to be still and know that you're in this place. Please let me stand, rest in your holiness. Word of God speak. Come on and pour down like rain, washing my eyes to see your majesty, to be still and know you're in this place. Please let me stand, rest in your holiness. Word of God speak. Finding myself at a loss for words. And the funny thing is, it's okay.
Whew. Yeah. Also, I'll take that song and keep it with me all the time, too. Ooh. Well, I have a couple of quick announcements, but first I want to recognize our community that is online. We have Carol and Pablo, who have signed in from Madrid, Pamela from Orting, Vicky and Tom from Silverdale, Barb from Chelan, Stana from Hawaii, Mira from Annapolis, Carl and Snohomish, Christine and Port Townsend, and Sandy and Monica from Long Beach, and Zan from Tukwila, and Janice from Renton. So yeah, all right. I also want to acknowledge that our teens just got back from our home office, or Centers for Spiritual Living Teen Camp. And I really want to acknowledge Rose Palmer, who went, she's a practitioner here, and she went as a teen advisor. And also our beautiful, magnificent group of teens that went. We have Noah, Finn, Isaac, Marco, Iris, Adriana, Keller, and Lucy, who went to teen camp. Yeah. And as a reminder, we have a great youth and family program. So I would encourage you to, if you have kids or grandkids and you're here during second service, that's the time when our program is going on. And it is growing and it's expanding. And we would love to have more youth in our program. So please do that. And also welcome back our teens from camp. Today, we are having a couple of things right after our second service. In Classroom A, specifically, which is if you go downstairs and go all the way in, it's the classroom on the right-hand side, we're having popcorn and perspectives. And so this one in particular is hosted by Stephanie Ann and myself. And then we also have the Keeping It Real Popcorn and Perspectives crew, which is Sandra, Brad, and Rose, that are hosting a monthly movie. And Stephanie Ann and I are hosting this one called For They Know Not What They Do today. And that's about being LGBTQI in a spiritual community and not necessarily feeling welcome, but having hard conversations with people. So if you want to join us, we're also going to be featuring our community members, Richard and Kenny, for part of the after conversation discussion about what their personal experiences have been like. So please join us today. Popcorn will be provided, and bring your own lunch if you want to do that. In addition, I wanted to let you know that there is going to be some traffic and parking disruptions starting tomorrow because there are natural gas lines that are being installed in our area over these two streets, or actually 3/4 of our community, not along there. But there will be various streets that are closed down on Sundays over the next 3 months. So plan a little extra time to come in early to make sure that you have enough time to walk to the center. Also, next Sunday is our community barbecue, so we would love it if you would bring a side dish, a salad, or a dessert to share. The center is providing burgers, hot dogs, and vegetarian options, so bring a friend. It's Bring a Friend Month, and then come join us after second service. We'll be out in the lawn. We'll be enjoying and partaking of a picnic together in our barbecue. Speaking of camp, I love camp, and we have a magnificent camp. We call it Seebeck All Community Camp. We have a theme this year called Heaven is Here. Everybody is invited from all over the world. I just want you to know, if you are online and you're like, hey, I want to hang out with these great people, fly in and come to camp with us. We want to see you too. We love you, we appreciate you, and we have a lot of fun. So if you like to, I don't know, if you like to play pickleball, you want to learn how to play pickleball, if you like playing games, if you like doing crafts, if you want to retrain your brain and open up to new possibilities by doing something you've never done before, this is the place to do it. And we're having an education class every morning taught by 3 ministers, including myself, on this book, The Lightmaker's Manifesto, How to Work for Change Without Losing Your Joy. So if you want to get deeper into this book, we'll be having five days of classes that you can join us in doing that as well, or you can just buy this book. It's on sale in the bookstore right now, right downstairs. You can just run down and go get it. So I think that's it. That's about the end of my announcements. I want to shift into this time of giving. So what I love looking at all of you, first of all. I love looking at all of you, and I love looking at all the different ages and faces and ethnicities, because there were people in the past that believed in your possibility. And because they believed in your possibility, they made a gift to this center, believing in you. And I'm so grateful. If you've ever made a gift in the past, I'm so grateful for what you have contributed to this community, because you contribute to transformations happening. You contribute to love happening. You contribute to people regaining hope and faith in not only people, but a larger vision. And so if you are compelled to give a gift, to say that you believe in that same thing for other people that are going to come into the center for the future, I would encourage you to give a gift today. And I would encourage you online to also give a gift. We couldn't do this without you. And so whatever gift you consider giving, I want you to hold it over your heart and know that truly that this gift is a blessing. It blesses, it multiplies, it transforms, it transcends, and it allows each and every one of us to awaken to our possibility. And it multiplies both for the giver, you, and the receiver, all of us. And for that, I'm absolutely grateful. And so it is. I'd like to invite Richard to come down, put the offering basket down here. And for those of you who are new, please give your gift in the basket, or you could just give a blessing over the basket, whatever works for you. But please dance down the aisles to whatever song Jake has prepared.
right, that is so wonderful to watch, that joyful and fun giving. So I'm Vicki Draper, prayer practitioner, she and her. And we have opportunities to pray for you today. We have Ev going to be up here for a prayer circle. We have Jim in the back for individual prayers or putting your prayers in a prayer box, so we'll pray for you this week. And then for online, we have Chris Coy waiting for you to come in on Zoom and support you virtually. So let's take a moment connecting with our hearts. And we are the place where love shows up, where growth is happening. And from our center of love, peace, and connection, I am excited and invite you embracing new possibilities this week, creating those new neural pathways, being your highest and greatest version of yourself. And so it is.
All right, everybody, it's time for the closing sing-along. Y'all know the drill. Please rise if you're able, get up on stage and dance, and please sing whether you're able to or not. Thank you very much.